I was wondering this morning if anyone has met someone who was obsessed with that day of the year in which vacations start. They've been planning their vacations all year, going from site to site, s- you know, surfing the web for destinations, making plans, and waiting impatiently for that day. They don't have time for anything else. They're obsessed with that goal. And even more importantly, with the ultimate goal, which is retirement, they will put up with anything. They will willingly be walked over, dragged through the mud. They don't care if it means they'll keep be paid, they will keep their holidays abroad, and more importantly, they will keep their retirement. They will lazy around. They will do anything unhuman, just so they can fulfill that dream. It's almost like a Christian preparing for the afterlife. They are not really here and now. They don't reflect anything. They are all focused only in that goal, the retirement. Governments, they make their studies about retirement days based on a 5 year period, meaning after retirement, 5 years, and then that's how they calculate. Because 5 years is what it takes for an older person to eat themselves and drink themselves to death and lazy around. That's what happens when you retire. You stop moving. You lazy around the house or the whatever you go. You start eating and drinking and sleeping till noon, not exercising, not catching sunlight, and eventually your body just collapses from gout or diabetes or heart failure or blood pressure. I don't know, something. They rush you to the hospital. Sometimes you make it, sometimes you don't. But once you enter, the hospital, it becomes a vicious cycle because a hospital is an emergency situation, and if you need, you know, their help, it means it's really serious. You'll be in and out for the rest of your life. It becomes a vicious cycle. A lot of people don't see it like that. It's one of those places you should avoid at all costs, and to avoid it, well, you need to be more precautious about everything. Preventive medicine instead of aggressive medicine. But anyway, most people don't care about those things. They eat out of the supermarket shelves. Around the year of 30, their body breaks apart because food they've been eating is full of chemicals, hormones, and God knows what. And it's empty of nutrients and minerals, and your body just collapses after you're 30. And you need pills to sleep, and you need pills to work. So they struggle, they struggle day after day until the day of retirement. They're not really living their lives. I've met people like this. They were quite horrible to be around. They didn't care about honor, respect, what's right. They didn't care about what's right or what's logical or what's ethical or what's beautiful. They didn't care about those things at all. As long as it gets my retirement, I don't care. That's their their goal. And these people, for instance, become the inner party of each government. Civil servants, for instance, in any country, they are the reinforcers of government policy, and it's almost like a trade-off. You become a civil servant, but then you have to reinforce the dogma that they are pushing down everybody's throat, and in exchange, you'll have a nice retirement with full benefits until you die. They don't care what's honorable, what's right. In Catholic countries, it's even worse because nepotism is really strong. Once you're in the system, it's for life. There's no getting out. It's almost like a mafia organization. There's no getting out. You're in it even in death. I'm joking, but this is serious. They find out there's millions of people that already quit, left the world, and their families are still cashing their retirements. I mean, this is everywhere. It's everywhere. Anyway, taxpayers, they pay for all that stuff. It's not just in that country. No, it's all countries. Once you're in the system, you can, you know, play the strings because you are part of the organized, mafia that's in there. You're part of them. It's the inner party. Anyway, and the goal is retirement. It's that benefit, that, and occasionally the vacations. That's why everybody was so fond of bending the knee to the needlecraft. Oh, I can't travel. Okay, give me everything you got, man. I'm traveling, cutting my vacations, my 2 or 3 time vacations. It's not okay. I want a plane and I want to travel. That's their obsession. Airports are disgusting, horribly disgusting. I used to travel a lot, like 20 years ago. I worked abroad, and once or twice a year I come and visit the family. I would use airports. It was a lot faster, but it was a rather unpleasant experiment. They treat you like you're, I don't know, unhuman. They treat you like, since that's a psychological operation of that caused, what I'm talking about. All those wars in the Middle East, they've been treating passengers like they are idiots, and everybody is putting up with it because they don't care how unhuman they are being treated. They are part of the system, and their goal is their funny holidays in these funny countries, eating funny food. They don't even talk to the locals to learn about their culture. No, they're just invaders. You know, I don't give a damn about the locals at all or their culture. They just come change the air. You know, some of them actually come home even more tired than left upon leaving because all the stresses of the trips, all airports and finding a place and finding a restaurant. And again, they are eating out of restaurants and fast food, places. Again, they're being served supermarket food. They ought to go and try to find food that is raised by the locals. That's the real deal. Ever since they started putting, the money machine, what's it called? ATM. They started putting these ATMs all over the world. It lost interest, all interest in traveling. Everything became the same. exploited by the same companies of your home country. They know your destinations, so they start, taking over the businesses and the hotels and the food industry and everything. You're just for a change of weather, perhaps, but everything else you're going to be in contact is going to be the same thing. The weather might be different, but you'll be exposed to the same bullshit as you're being exposed at home. I once was talking with this woman. It was like 15 years ago. It was brief. We were sitting, and she was like, "Oh, I went to travel and everything, and this was so fun." And then we went to eat, and I was like, "What did you eat?" McDonald's. And I was like, "Okay, so you went and traveled thousands of kilometers to eat McDonald's. All right, what's the point?" Focus here and now. Diluting yourself into possible future. You're diluting yourself. You're not focusing on the here and the now. And it's sort of what the news, the television does. When people sit behind the couch, they are diluting themselves, getting lost in the mirror, in the obsidian mirror. Well, now you have it in the pocket, right? But before it used to be the TV set. They are diluting yourself. When a person is diluted and not focusing on the here and the now, they are easily bamboozled. I don't know. All right. I think I'm going to shut up now.